Hello, I'm Austin,
And I'm Jackson.
and welcome to Campus Mysteries, where we will unravel some of the most chilling cases and incidents that take place on a college campus.
So sit back and relax for today's Halloween episode, The Disappearing Bunny. Today on Campus Mysteries, we'll discuss the disappearance of Cindy Song, a senior at Pennsylvania State University.
Joan Cindy Song grew up in South Korea. In 1995, she moved to Virginia to live with her aunt and uncle and attend high school. After graduating high school, she went to Pennsylvania State University. On Halloween 2001, Cindy, now a senior, went to a costume party at Players Nightclub, now the Indigo, in downtown State College with two close friends, Stacey Paik and Lisa Kim. She was dressed as a Playboy bunny. All three friends partied until 2 a.m. the next morning, when they left and stopped off at a friend's apartment to play video games. At 4 a.m. that morning, they dropped Cindy off at her apartment. She was never seen again. A search of her apartment found no signs of a struggle or forced entry. The false eyelashes that she had worn to the party were there, along with her backpack and cell phone. The only things that were missing were her purse that contained her driver's license and credit cards. Police believed she was wearing her Playboy bunny costume when she vanished, as it was not found in her apartment. An analysis of her phone found that she had not made or received any calls after she was dropped off. There was also no activity on her credit cards. Finally, there was no suspicious activity on her emails. Police and volunteers searched the wooded area near the campus. However, no trace of her was found. Authorities don't believe that she ran off on her own. 2 Britney Spears concert tickets were found in her apartment. A printout for a computer that was due to be received on November 6th was also found. Her friends and family don't believe that she was the type of person to just disappear. They also did not believe she was depressed or suicidal. Her friends remembered that she was happy and upbeat on the night that she vanished. Authorities believe that she left her apartment to go to a 24-hour supermarket and that she was abducted there or along the way. Another theory was that she left her apartment with someone that she knew and then was killed by them. A few days after she disappeared, a woman matching her description was seen in Philadelphia being forced into a car by an unidentified man. Police do not know who the man was or if the woman was her, but they would like to question him.
Cindy was outgoing and optimistic to her friends. She wrote on her blog about relationship advice and mental health. She motivated and ready for the next chapter of her life until she vanished.
So here's what I'm going to say.
Hey, Bearcat.
That she was walking to the supermarket, and I'm going to work off the theory that she was going to the supermarket. And if she's wearing this Playboy bunny costume, it's a state college. If a sex trafficker sees someone walking down the street drunk in a Playboy bunny costume, they're thinking this is the easiest grab I'm ever going to have. And then you're gone.
Well, I have a counter to that, Austin, because it said there was no suspicious activity on her credit cards and her phone was left in her dorm room. Wouldn't you think that if you're going to the supermarket, you would take your, at least some form of money with you?
How many times have you forgotten things and just left?
Well, I may leave my phone, but if I'm going somewhere to buy food or any other items, I'll definitely bring a form of payment with me.
She took her credit cards. She took her purse. It had her driver's license and credit cards. And also, since that is the case, that's why I'm going with the supermarket theory, and I think that's very doable. You're drunk, you're hungry, your sodium's taking a hit, you're going to go to the gas station or wherever, get some snacks.
I see your point there, Austin.
So I think that she was grabbed by a sex trafficker possibly along the way.
Do you think she could have been after she got something from the supermarket on her way back?
No, because there was no activity on her credit card, so it would have had to been along the way. So I don't think she made it there to even buy anything, and also, if she had made it there, there would have been something to corroborate. A witness, the cashier or whatever, would have been there to say, oh yeah, she was here. So it would have had to have been along the way.
I see your point.
Now we got to talk about this car. We got to talk about her in Philadelphia being forced into a car, right?
Yes.
So I looked it up. I looked up where this Pennsylvania State College, and it's in a town called Malvern, right? Which is an hour away from Philadelphia. So So somehow she had to get an hour away somehow.
But see, it said that it only matched it wasn't a confirmed
Yeah,
sighting.
sure.
It was just a description matching her with
Right.
with another woman escaping a car. So this could possibly been another woman, not exactly Cindy's song.
It could have been, and that's very possible. I think there'd be a little something more than just, oh, it was her, it looked like her being put in here to justify the linking, on police's part, I would think. So, let's delve, I think, if we can, into the suspects, which we will do right after our commercial break.
Hey Bearcats, take your membership on the go by downloading the Sam Houston State University Alumni Cat app today. Not a member yet? Join the Sam Houston Alumni Association or renew in seconds to enjoy exclusive national benefits on dining, entertainment, and much more. Now that you're in, take some time to explore your exclusive member benefits, read the latest edition of Heritage Magazine, or find an alumni event near you. Click on our travel tile to sign up and explore the globe with our traveling Bearcats, or stay connected to alumni in your area as you take your membership everywhere. Come hang out with the Alumni Association as we tailgate some of the biggest games of the year by showing your alumni member card that is now in the palm of your hand. Download the SHSU Alumni Cat app today in the iTunes or Google Play Store, or visit shsu.edu/cat app. Eat 'em up, cats!
Three, two, one.
For this case, here's the timeline of what we know.
October 31st, 2001, 10 o'clock, Cindy goes to a Halloween party with friends. November 1st, 2001, 2 o'clock a.m., they left the party. At 4 o'clock a.m., Cindy is dropped off at her apartment. 12 o'clock p.m., her roommate returns to a locked door. November 5th, 2001, Cindy's friends call the police, 4 days after she had gone missing. So that's interesting that they waited 4 days to call the police. I understand that, it takes a while to be able to file a missing person's report. But to take that long just to call the police is a little interesting.
Yes. You have to assume that her friends thought, oh, Cindy has to be a very active person. They think if they waited days to call the police.
Right. It's possible then that it wouldn't have been odd for her to spend 2 or 3 days, without contact with them. But, she's in school. It's, you got to think maybe they'd run into her on campus or something. I'm not sure what took them 4 days. That's some kind of Casey Anthony kind of stuff there. So there's a little interesting timeline that it took that long for them to call her. So on the 1st, Cindy's roommate returns from the night out. And at that point, Cindy's already gone. And then it took 4 days for the police to be called, which then at that point the search began. So, in those 4 days, she had to have made it, because it just says a few days after she disappeared is when she was seen, or someone who looks like her was seen being put into that car, right?
Yes.
In those 4 days, it's possible that that's when that occurred. That sighting in Philadelphia.
Do we have an exact date of when that supposed Cindy woman was identified in the Philadelphia?
No, we don't. We just have a few days, so that makes me think it honestly could have happened within those 4 days before the police even ever knew about it, and then retroactively someone was like, oh, I saw this. That could be that. So, that's what I think. I think the biggest mistake was it taking too long for the police to be notified. is, I think, what really did it.
So now do we have a list of suspects that we can discuss?
We do. So we just have that man, who did the car.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there was an ex-boyfriend.
Now, can we get a little information about the ex-boyfriend?
So for the ex-boyfriend, they shared an apartment together, cohabitating, and his name is Richard Che. When they broke up in September of 2001, he moved out abruptly. And so he's one of our suspects. So with the man, it happened a few days after Cindy was reported. Okay, we have something here. So a few days after Cindy was reported missing, an eyewitness came forward to tell police that a woman who looked like Cindy was dragged, kicking and screaming, into a car in Philadelphia's Chinatown district, nearly 200 miles away. The witness said that the woman was forced into the vehicle by a man who yelled at the witness to leave them alone. And so, finally, we have a man named Hugo Zielinski. He's a serial killer who was caught in 2003. He was turned in by his accomplice, Michael Krakowski. And Krakowski claimed, interesting enough, Hugo had slain a woman from a state college that matched Cindy's descriptions. No, it just says state college, but I'm going to work off the assumption that it is referring to the state college, Pennsylvania State College.
Yes.
I'm going to work off that assumption. And so, Halloween can be just as fun, but it can also be super dangerous.
Here's a college student from Utah State University to talk about staying safe at Halloween parties.
I go to Utah State University, so my experiences are going to be a little bit different compared to a lot of people that you talk to, because I attend a smaller agricultural school in a college town in Logan, Utah. So as far as Halloween parties go up here, Utah State actually holds one of the largest Halloween parties on the west side of the Mississippi. It's called the Howl. They were unable to have it this year because of Corona, and so this typically is held to anyone and everyone that can get their hands on a ticket. Tickets are usually sold out by October 10th, so it's a little bit hard sometimes. But basically, it's just a huge costume party where if you don't dress up, you don't get to come. And as far as what I usually do, what I've ended up doing on Halloween, I end up a lot of times at fraternity parties because I'm in a sorority up here at Utah State, and so in order to be able to go to these parties, a lot of the time you have to know someone who knows someone, or you have to be friends with them yourself, and so they're a little bit smaller parties, and so there's a lot less likely for you to have anything happen to you that you might not want. There's less strangers, they're more so familiar faces, whether you know them or not, you've at least seen them before. But the Howl is basically a huge dance party with other Halloween activities that you can go find, and you get to just dress up and dance with a bunch of random sweaty strangers, and it's something that you would see out of a movie for sure. But yeah.
Now into the evidence.
Cindy definitely reached her apartment as her backpack that she had at the party was present. There was also a set of false eyelashes that she had worn with her bunny costume in her room, and her phone was still in her backpack.
There were concert tickets set to take place in a couple of days, and a receipt for a new computer that was due to be delivered in Cindy's room.
From all accounts, she was happy and expecting to continue with her life after she got home from the party, giving the police the indication that she had not just run away.
Well, it is a darn shame she did not get to go to see Britney Spears.
Well, yes, Austin, this is a pretty sad incident.
There's a lot to unpack here. There really is. And there has been.
So from what it says, so from the eyelashes, she was getting ready to de-dress from her
Yeah,
costume.
she had at least taken those off, which,
Yeah.
I mean,
And so we have to suspect during the time when she was taking off, she had to feel there was something urgent that came up that had made her get her purse and walk out of her dorm.
and like we say, we just assume, there's just assumptions that it was to go to the supermarket. We don't know exactly what it might have been, if she was going for something or what she's going to, you know. People just always grab their purse.
Yes.
Or their wallet, you know, no matter where you're going. You just take that just because.
But
It's
it's-
not something if
yes.
anything, you're not going to want to leave that behind.
But suspicious, she did leave her phone behind.
That is true.
We suspect that she was in a rush to go somewhere.
But, you know, with phones, it's not like it is today, right? You know, a phone wasn't, you know, something necessarily that you were going to need 24/7. You'd really only need it if you're expecting to call somebody. I don't think there was even texting back in 1995 or 2001 yet. Or at least not as we know it. Now that we've gone over how Cindy's song went missing, it's time to talk about the suspects. So we've already written them on the board. We have the man from Philadelphia, that was seen taking someone into a car that had Cindy Song's description. Then we have Hugo Solinsky, the serial killer that was caught in 2003, whose accomplice, Michael Krakowski, said, "Hey, this guy killed someone that looked like her." That's all that's all they can really say. And we have the ex-boyfriend, Richard Shea, who broke up with her about a month prior to this event and moved out of the apartment that they shared. So, we'll be right back with Campus Mysteries after this quick break.
As a boy, Lorenzo Baez's playground was the streets. When his grandfather suffered a heart attack, one nurse's act of kindness changed his life. Today, he is the first in his family to graduate college, and he's not done yet. He's on his way to becoming a doctor. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Lorenzo defy the odds. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education. Third-generation Bearcat Tacey Webb roped her way to a national championship through her hard work and fearless dedication. Trading her saddle for nursing scrubs, Tacey set her sights in another arena, a place where she can champion the needs of others. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Tacey reach their championship potential. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education. The proud son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
Welcome back to Campus Mysteries, the show where we discuss mysterious cases on college campuses. Now that we have gone over our suspects, it's time to discuss which are guilty or innocent, at least in our beliefs. Hugo Zielinski was brought in as a suspect in Cindy's disappearance. An informant told police that Zielinski had abducted a woman along with his accomplice, Michael Krakowski, and kept her in a walk-in freezer until she died. Zielinski admitted to abducting Cindy but told investigators that Krakowski was the one who killed her and kept the bunny ears she was wearing as a souvenir. Zielinski told police that he and his accomplice mistook Cindy for a sex worker and kidnapped her. He said that Cindy's body was buried in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania.
The informant led police to the locations of 5 bodies of Selinsky's properties in 2003, but DNA proved none of them were Cindy Song.
Selinsky was sentenced to 32.5 years to 65 years in prison in 2003 for robbery. Despite the 12 bodies in his backyard, Selinsky was acquitted of 2 murder charges when he went on trial. In 2015, Selinsky was given a sentence of life in prison for the murder of Michael Krakowski and Michael's girlfriend Tammy Fassett, who were strangled to death. Krakowski was a pharmacist who ran a prescription drug ring on the side. It has not been proven that Krakowski was involved in the murder of Cindy or any other victims. Well, I mean, for me, that pretty much confirms everything I thought about Hugo.
And Michael.
And Michael. I mean, both are terrible people. Both
Yes.
are terrible people. I would just put them together in terms of being guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But
we can suspect that the man and Michael could possibly be the same person.
I definitely think the man is either Hugo or Michael. I think the ex-boyfriend being lumped in here is just kind of a result of the stigma of it's always the husband. Husband's always the one who's going to do it.
Or the boyfriend or a lover.
Right. The what's the word? Disgruntled lover.
Yes.
And the moment I kind of figured it wasn't him, because when you break up with someone and then you move as far away from them as you can get, that's kind of the sign that you're just kind of done with them and don't want to deal with them anymore. Much less do you want to have their ghost haunting you because you killed them. So
it's interesting how Hugo went to so much detail about what happened to Sydney and what they did to her.
Yeah.
He was very nonchalant about how he and Michael kidnapped Sydney and then they killed her.
Yeah, and him being a serial killer really just ties it all together. And
it understands that he mistook her as a sex worker because she was still wearing her Playboy Bunny outfit.
Keeping the ears of the bunny as a souvenir, I think we would find them, but that's that.
So what happened to Cindy Song?
Well, she dead.
Cindy Song is most presumably dead based on Hugo's descriptions, and her body is still presumably into the woods that Hugo said that he left her in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to her. She's just dead. I mean, will we ever find the body? At this point, I don't think.
I do think there's still a chance because, they talk about many other victims that Hugo has killed. So I still believe that her body's still out there, but police haven't searched the right area that will find her.
I mean, at this point, it's probably so biodegraded, though, it would be hard. I mean, you'd have to just find the pair of teeth at this point, really.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us on Campus Mysteries.
And make sure you stay tuned at next as we discuss the murder of Professor Hooligan